What's up, guys? Happy Tuesday. Let some people get in here first before I start so I don't have to repeat too many topics. Not that I mind at all about that, but it just may make it easier. But there's not a ton of Braves news other than the Hall of Fame stuff, which I'm very happy for who got in, but I think it is a very flawed process. I think it's a very. I just wish it wasn't all writers. No disrespect to them, but I think it dilutes the process and takes away from what Andrew Jones and Billy Wagner specifically missing by 5 votes, I think is terrible considering 3 of the voters had him a Hall of Famer last year and then switched. What's up, Charles? Not much, but switched, and now he was 5 votes short. Andrew Jones percentages ticked up, and I guess former Brave Gary Sheffield, I think this was his last year on the ballot, missed it by a few percentages, which is annoying. And obviously the steroids or not steroids, I'm not sure, because of course John Heyman reported, I think like last week, that he was on the Mitchell report, which I don't know if that's actually accurate or not. But John Heyman is John Heyman, so again, I don't know the accuracy of all that, but congratulations to Joe Mauer, Adrian Beltre, and Todd Helton. That's really cool, and I'm glad that the Coors Field bias kind of finally went away, because numbers are numbers, and I've seen guys struggle at hitters' ballparks, and it changed their swing and things of that nature in a bad way. So I'm really thrilled for Todd Helton and Adrian Beltre, probably one of the more consistent hitters and consistent players that I've ever seen. So big time props to him, and him having 97% of the ballot was very legitimate and very happy for him. Joe Mauer, I was a little surprised that he was a first ballot, if I'm being completely honest, just because the peak of his height was absolutely incredible, but it's being as potent and important to the Minnesota Twins franchise that he was, and how of an all-around player he was, hitter, catcher, leader, all of that, they all warrant the Hall of Fame, and I'm really happy for all of them. Definitely, but again, gutted for former Braves, and even though Andrew is ticked up, I think that Gary Sheffield was a big miss, and I think Billy Wagner not being in this year is annoying and annoyingly bad. And I think the bias of writers and national writers and where you play in your career, they say it doesn't matter, but for some it does, because I think if Wagner was in a bigger market like Dodgers or Yankees or Red Sox or whatever, he would get more notoriety and the recognition he deserves. Not saying that he won't get in next year or the years to come, but I just think it's a big slight. The Hall of Fame voting came out today. Todd Helton got in, former Rocky. Joe Mauer, former Twin, and Adrian Beltre, Texas Ranger, and just discussing the vote percentages for former Braves and things of that nature. But yeah, I mean, I just wish the Hall of Fame voting would be upgraded somehow because it's a different time, different age, and that should be taken into account just as much as the numbers and things of that nature. So I just wish it would be updated and modernized somehow. I'm not sure exactly how you could do that, but just spitballing there that I think it should be. But literally, he didn't make it. 61.9%. But he grew from 10%, I think. So, that's good. And he's getting up there, so that's a positive. And he's got plenty of years left on the ballot, I believe. So that is my 2 cents on the Hall of Fame. I think Andrew Jones is a Hall of Famer, and I think Billy Wagner is definitely a Hall of Famer, and that was a huge miss. But is what it is, I guess, because none of us are a part of the process. But literally, there's not a lot with the Braves right now. Yeah. What's up, Julie? Yeah, he will. And I hope for both of them. But if Billy Wagner doesn't get in next year, you should really revamp the entire process. There hasn't been really anything Braves related lately. I think I covered it all last week. But there have been some outside signings. Joey Gallo, 1 year, $5 million with the Nationals. He's kind of fallen from grace, but maybe he can revamp his career. And I guess he's another one of those. Good. Thank God that the moves you don't make, because I think I remember Braves and Braves fans. I think I was included a little bit. No, Dale Murphy is unfortunately done with the balloting, done with the veteran committee and all that. So that was another big miss in my mind, that Dale Murphy did not get in, but he seems at peace with it. So I guess we all should be, even though I think that's wrong. Colby Allard signed a 1-year deal with the Phillies. Aroldis Chapman, a 1-year, $10.5 million deal with the Pirates. That's interesting because you got Bednar and Chapman in the back end, and Chapman's a wild horse, obviously, but that signals that they're going to try to be a little bit more competitive. And the Central is really sneaky all of a sudden now with the upstart Reds and what they've done. The Pirates, their youngsters and things of that nature, kind of figuring it out a little bit. The Brewers still being the Brewers, probably this being probably their last year of competitive until they retool or rebuild. I'm not sure which yet, and I don't think they are. And obviously the Cubs with the big splash of Todd Helton. Got Todd Helton on the brain. Craig Counsell. They haven't really done too much except signing Amura to that big free agent deal, and everybody still seems to think Bellinger will be back there, so that's an interesting division to watch. James Paxton, former Red Sox, oft-injured lefty, is going to the Washington Nationals Dodgers. 1 year, $11 million. The Dodgers are certainly spending money and plugging holes, but I just don't know. I don't know the injury. There's a ton of injury risk with what the Dodgers have done, and if one of those pieces fall, it could be a whole domino experience. But who knows there? See what happens. Josh Hader, 5 years, 95 with the Astros. I'm just really glad that he didn't go to the Phillies or Dodgers, because that's where I was thinking. And obviously, closers are so up in the air. Like, they can be great 1 year and just fall apart the next. And there's been a lot of that. I think he'll be good for probably three of those years, but a no trade clause and a $19 million. You'll find out. Pete Rose is a whole different ball of wax, but if you're going just based on numbers, yeah, he probably should be. But yeah, Pete Rose based on the numbers, yeah. And again, that's the era conversation and the time of what baseball was and all that stuff. I think that's a whole different conversation. But if he was in right now, I wouldn't think twice about it, really. So that's my take on that. And, but yeah, I mean, and then the only other big free agent deal was Robert Stevenson, the old Cincinnati Red, Rocky Tampa Bay Ray. Got a 3-year, $30 million deal with a 4th-year option with the LA Angels. And that could be a interesting piece for them, being a hybrid reliever / starter, thing of that nature. And Miguel Sano, the old power hitter for Minnesota, signed a minor league deal with the Angels. Ian Anderson is rehabbing from Tommy John, should be back in June if everything goes well. And obviously the offseason hasn't ended yet. So I think a lot of things could um, um, but yeah, I mean, Ian Anderson could be a potential piece down the line if he's still in our organization, because you can't fault a near 1.5 ERA in the postseason. That is something. I don't care how many innings it is. That is doing something doing something good and at the biggest time of year. So he could factor in. It should be. That's definitely an interesting name to watch. Ian Anderson. It's either Max Reed or Spencer Strider for opening day starter, and it probably depends on who we're. It probably depends on heavy lefty or whatever. I would assume Strider, but maybe Max Reed. I have no idea. Yeah. Sale is another one that is going to be fun to follow, and it's a bit of it's obviously there's a lot of injury risk there, but the Red Sox are basically paying us to have him this year, so there's I think he gives you the Jock Peterson flair. I think he gives you the kind of bite that felt like was missing the last couple of years in the playoffs, and I think that's what we got him for. So I think, and the Braves medical staff has been known to work miracles with some guys that previously weren't necessarily the healthiest people you'll ever see. Yeah, I do. I think he's done with the bullpen. I think. Well, I mean, I should say, I think it depends on what Ronaldo Lopez does, and if he blows us away as a starter, then maybe he'll add to the back end, because you can never have enough pitching and specifically bullpen because of how focused it is nowadays in baseball. So maybe a small move here or there, but also somebody could come out of nowhere in spring training, like Oscar Inoa, or what was that kid's name last year? That Daysbel Hernandez. He's a possibility. So I think yes, right now, but obviously things are going to change, and things are the spring training of it all is very fluid. But for now, I would say yes, AA is done with the bullpen. Um, The bench is definitely undecided. Um, Luckily, the Braves don't use the bench very much, but the bench is definitely undecided, and I think that's still coming down the pipe. But I think there's too many big free agents out there right now to kind of figure out what's gonna happen. John, if who reports? Pierce Johnson. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's going to. I think getting out of Coors Field really helped, and I think it was a really good value signing and really good for the clubhouse and all of that. And I think he fits perfectly. I really do. But yeah, I the bullpen is it's pretty much set, I would think, unless there's a surprising move somewhere. But yeah, Chavez probably will. I know I've seen him on his Instagram rearing up. I don't know if it will be with us. I don't know that we have necessarily a spot, but something will probably happen mid-season, and Chavez respect the specs will be back, I would guess. Speaking of the bullpen, I guess the only other news was that Colin McHugh retired. Retired yesterday. Congratulations to him. Really solid career all the way around. And it. Thank you, Charles. I try. Or not. So we will see, but I think the bullpen roles are pretty well set unless something weird happens where we upgrade it or a different trade happens or God forbid injuries, knock on wood. But yeah, I think the biggest question is probably the bench and kind of filling out the minor league rosters and getting depth. And I don't think we've named many. The minor league staffs really haven't been named. So that's something. That's something we'll have to figure out and whatever. But that'll probably be coming down the pipe pretty soon too. But yeah, I would say the only relatively question is the number 5 starter. Obviously, you're still going to need depth. The bench, and yeah, that's. I mean, the rest of it's pretty well set in stone. And obviously, the minor league depth will be an interesting follow as well. I think Tyler Flowers is a advisor in our organization maybe now, I think. As of now on the roster, the backup outfielder would be Forrest Wall. And the backup infielder, I believe, is David Fletcher. So yeah, that's why the bench is really still a question because I don't know. I've said a lot on this this show that maybe a Michael A. Taylor, Kevin Pillar, kind of just extra experience that's been there before, that's played every position, that kind of thing. They both are decent runners. Michael A. Taylor's he's just a free agent. He's still out there, still weighing his options and all that stuff. Or that, I mean, yeah. But yeah, I mean, Michael A. Taylor, Kevin Pillar, or something of that nature. But a lot of times, Alex Anthopoulos doesn't address those things until like March, like a Matt Joyce we've seen in years past. Duvall, probably too expensive and probably wants to still have a decent amount of playing time. I think he's deciding between the Red Sox and the Angels, was at last report. But yeah, so there. I mean, there's options for sure, and I think that's like a March thing because there's so many quality free agents still out there. You got your Montgomery, Blake Snell, Cody Bellinger. Jack Peterson's a free agent, but he's not going to want to play a bench role. Yeah. Merrifield, but I don't think he wants to play outfield, but that would be interesting. He's out there, but that's a good guy to mention. Yeah, Merrifield. I don't know where he fits, and I'm surprised that like the Jays haven't done bigger moves. So Josh Donaldson is out there, but we don't need Josh Donaldson. I think he's way past. He would only be a DH and maybe third base, and Austin Riley's not going anywhere anytime soon, I think. So yeah, he's still out there though. But yeah, I mean, I feel like all of these 95% of our roster has been pretty much set for a while. So it'll be interesting to see what plugs the holes, what guys in AAA you could look at as possibilities. Down the line. As for depth, AAA and AA, obviously you got the Owen Murphys, the J.R. Richies, the the Hurston Waldrips in Double A and Triple A as your rotation, but not too much in the position player depth wise, I don't think, and that you could see. No, Eddie Rosario is a free agent as well. But Eddie Rosario may be a possibility, but I think we would be better off getting a better defensive-ish guy. I mean, I think that one's run its course, but just a thought there. But yeah, I mean, the Braves are pretty well set, and obviously they know what they want, and at this point in the off season, they're not going to make a knee. I don't see any break the internet type of moves coming from the Braves, unless like Blake Snell or Montgomery. Yeah, I think that ship has sailed, and that, I mean, the fact that he is switching to pitching should tell you how he feels about his hitting and fielding skills at this point. But yeah, yeah, I know, but even joking, because Braves fans love Charlie so much that it could be misconstrued as serious. You know, Twitter. But yeah. Hey Matt, yeah, we covered that at the beginning, the Hall of Fame stuff. But yeah, Sheffield got shafted. Wagner definitely got shafted, in my opinion. I think the voting process is very outdated. For sure. And it sucks. But obviously, John Heyman with the Mitchell report, I don't know, and that claim last week, I don't know if that played into it or No. I was just Julie, you're fine. I was just referencing how people like Twitter make things bigger than they are. Matt Adams hasn't been a thing since when's the last time? I don't know. When's the last time Matt Adams was a thing? Anybody know? Because I don't. 2020 maybe. I don't know. No, I was just saying how other people make bigger deals out of things people say. So that's what I was referring to with Charlie. Yeah, I mean, the Hall of Fame process is just so outdated. And if Wagner doesn't make it next year, you should just revamp the whole thing, revamp the whole Yeah, I thought he retired. Let's see. I talked about the Aroldis Chapman deal with the Buccos. 1 year, 10.5. He's a wild ride. But I guess we could have done that. But I like we talked about, I think the bullpen is pretty well set. And obviously, if things need to happen depth-wise, they will. Yeah, that's Brian Anderson's a weird one. Has had a lot of injuries and doesn't really know what position he wants to play, I think. So maybe that's part of it for Brian Anderson. So that's just my 2 cents on Brian Anderson. I think no, Brian Reynolds is not available. He signed the largest contract in Pirates history. So for now, I think the Pirates are building with him, and with Jared Kelenic in the fold for the Braves, there's really no reason. There's really no reason there. Good fit a while ago, or maybe a couple of seasons ago, but his price tag went up, and I think it's really good that a star player like him stayed with the Pirates just to just to have stars in different places instead of the super team. But yeah, I mean, Brian Reynolds is good, and I'm glad the Pirates are seemingly trying to put a dent in the NL Central. I'm not saying they're there, but I think they're being more competitive, and I like what Derek Shelton has done there. I just hope we can either find a way to avoid playing the Phillies in the first round, or they don't make the playoffs. Because I just think that, and I'm not trying to be a bad fan here or anything, I just think that's the worst matchup for us in the first round of the playoffs, and for it to keep happening, it may be kind of in our heads now that we can beat them in the regular season, but not in the postseason, kind of like the Bills versus the Chiefs. Ryan Klesko, I saw him on a couple of our broadcasts as like the TV studio analyst, but I'm not exactly sure what he's doing now. But compare? No, probably not. Maybe the AL West again. In terms of closeness, maybe. Yeah, Wash is definitely going to be missed. Thank you, Matthew. I guess you are the Braves historian to to give us the updates on former Braves players. I think well, yeah, I think the Braves win, and I think the Dodgers. I think those are two easy picks. I think they're pretty. I think everything else could be pretty wide open, maybe, especially the Central, just because I'm not sure. I'm not sure any of that's completed. The AL East, there's always. I guess the AL East may compare to our division. Yes, Chipper is still working. Chipper is still working for the Braves at the moment. Yeah, he's still, and I hope he can work his magic with Kelnick, and I think Seitzer can as well. Oh yeah, I definitely, I think he can, and plus he doesn't have to be the guy. So I think that's going to be really huge. I don't know why there we go. Now you can see my face. He doesn't have to be the guy. We've talked about that a lot. And I think Jared Kelnick realizing that Alex Anthopoulos doesn't BS you as a player or as a person or what he expects of you, all of that stuff. I think Jared Kelnick's got the right attitude. Bobby Cox. We probably won't know that until we get into the season and we get those updates. I don't think. So yeah, Bobby Cox, I am not sure. Yeah. That's a good way to put it, Matthew. But yeah, he's so much around. everyone is Chipper putting his handprints on Michael Harris II, on Marcell Ozuna, on everybody. I think goes undervalued a little bit, and the way he talks about hitting on the broadcast is yeah, Brandon Gunn does a great job. It's kind of Brandon Gunn does a fantastic job, and I'm glad he got the award for Georgia Sportscaster of the Year, because he really earned that, and really, it's really hard to ingratiate $25 word there a fan base like he did so quickly. Yeah. Yeah, he still gets, um, the Braves people still visit him, and Brian Snicker and Jeff Francoeur and Alex Anthopoulos and all those guys have and continue to do so. Um, but yeah, he's not going to be around, but he's still fighting, and he's still. Yeah, I think everybody does. Misses him at the ballpark, but he's still brave through and through, and that's really all that matters. Um, check and see if. Just making sure there's not any moves that have happened since. Yeah, the Braves have dealt with a lot of different things, and I guess it was seriously destiny for us to win that World Series the way we did, with 44 wins in the second half, all the numbers, reflecting Hank and all of that stuff, and it, divine intervention. A lot of people don't necessarily believe in that, but there was a higher power, and we literally might have had an angel in the outfield during that amazing run. So yeah, I mean, I was. Yeah, and I promise when we get to February and stuff like that, and there be more signings and stuff, I'll have more to chat about. But the thing about the Braves is, like I said, 97% of the roster is pretty much figured out, and we're just waiting on spring training, so which is right around the corner. Chris Sale is going to be probably topic number one for a while in spring training. Just because he's such going to be a X factor or whatever you want to call it. In so many ways, the clubhouse and all of that, and knowing that he's such a franchise guy and a gritty guy, and to be able to have him, hopefully it works out the way we all wanted to. I'm interested to see Isaiah Drake and see if, I think he may big time factor into things. Well, RCO was, if I'm remembering correctly, RCO was pretty. RCO was pretty solid in the 8-9 hole, so I think I think I would bat RCA 9 and Kelnick 8 if that were up to me, and then if it were up to me, yes, Aaron Bummer. His numbers weren't great, but that's coming from the White Sox, and a lot of things factored. He'll be Harris. But I think Harris we liked. Wasn't Harris not 7? Yeah, Harris. I thought Harris was 7 at some points, but I could be completely wrong on that. So yeah, maybe Arcia 8, Kelnick 7, Harris 9 if you want the double leadoff hitter. In the starting rotation, Max, Strider, Morton, Sale, and as of now, I would guess Elder. I think so. Yeah, if you want the double leadoff hitter thing, I would guess Harris would be back in the 9 hole. Yeah. Olsen 4, Riley 3, Ozzy 2, Acuna 1. I think you could interchange the catchers depending on who's hot and who's not, kind of thing, at the 6, 7, 8, 9. But if you're doing the double leadoff hitter thing, then Harris is definitely 9. But yeah, I think the lineup is pretty well set in stone as well. But thanks, Matt, for the Matt and Julie for the the conversation starter piece. But I'll definitely still do these when spring training starts. And may even do live watches of the spring training games. I think we only have 4 that are televised, but may do that. But when spring training starts, there'll obviously be a little bit more news and content to talk about every Tuesday. But I just wanted to be super consistent, and we somehow find a way to make a lot of conversation when there's not a lot to talk about. So I appreciate that aspect for sure. Yeah, I think the lineup. I mean, the rotation is kind of fluid. I think Charlie, you could go Chris Sale 3, Charlie 4 if you really. I mean, you really wanted to. I mean, there's because I think you're gonna have to use 10 to 13 guys regardless to get through 162. What's up, Hudson? And again, there could be a veteran innings eater type guy coming down the line, but like I said, I don't think there's too many. Better late than never is always a good thing. But yeah, I mean, obviously it depends on the lefty heavy lineups, but I think it's I mean it's 1A, 1B honestly in the 1A, 1B honestly. I don't think it really matters, but I think with Max's standing in the rotation, he'll probably get 1 just because of what he's meant to this organization. Potentially his last year, all of that factoring in for sure. So I think gosh dang it, a Strider no-hitter is gonna happen this year. That is my bold prediction for what's today's date? January 23rd. A Strider no-hitter is going to happen. I don't have any offensive bold predictions yet. Give me until next week for that. But yeah. Everyone loves Money Mike. For sure. Yeah. And the Red Sox still haven't really signed anyone, and every seems to hate them for not doing that. For not doing anything and suddenly becoming a small market team is very weird. Yeah, the Marlins have done Zippola, which I don't get. I don't get it. But from a credible source, Kim Ying kind of blew up her standing with the Marlins, so it was kind of her fault that she got dismissed but I don't think the Marlins have been really serious. I don't know about that. I mean, uh I don't think the Marlins have the money, but not spending 1 cent on a free agent is very, very, very weird. Um, yeah, I think the Sale Grisham deal could actually be good for both sides. Um, I just don't think the Red Sox are used to everybody's favorite word, financial flexibility, as it were, if that makes sense. And yeah, I think Ronald's gonna have a insane year. I think I there's nothing there that would, as long as he doesn't go to a division rival. Yeah, as long as he doesn't go to a division rival, I'm good. Yeah, Lazardo off the Marlins would be nice. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna get rid of Yuri Perez, but maybe they've dangled Lazardo for sure. I hope Jorge Soler goes to the Brewers or or not the Blue Jays or the Red Sox. I've heard the Mets, and please no, 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 no. just just a thought there. Um, yeah, anything that hurts the Marlins in hurts anyone in our division for as in their MLB team for as long as possible, I'm good with. The longer the Snell and Montgomery thing linger, it screams Phillies to me, and that's scary because Zach Wheeler is a free agent next year, I think. So that's a bit scary, but we're just gonna focus on the now, I guess. Um, but yeah, um, but yeah, and I think the Brewers are at a point where the Central is still very gettable. And I think this may be their last year before they rebuild or retool, whatever you want to say. And Yelich is still solid, and him finding a bit of his groove is very important uh, for him and for the Brewers, because I don't think they're going to be able to trade that contract at any point. For sure. I'm surprised the Orioles haven't done a little more, especially with the prospect capital they have. And you know my favorite saying, they're prospects until they're not, and they really could um, take it up a notch. But Matt Chapman's still not signed anywhere either, is he? So that's kind of strange. Nope. The only major free agent that's off the board. That makes sense if Yelich. You still talking about Yelich, Julie? Yeah, that would make sense. Belly has not signed anywhere. The only major signing of the bigger free agents this past week was Josh Hader. Nah, there's still a good. I mean, the reliever market kind of opened up after Hader signed, but there's still a lot of quality free agents out there. Gallo went to the Washington Nationals on a 1-year, $5 million deal. Talk about a move, the moves you don't make. Where is Shoemaker? He is with the Chicago White Sox. And no one wants to pay Snell 9,270 or whatever ridiculous number that is. So Shoemaker is with the Chicago White Sox. We traded him in the Aaron Bummer trade. Yeah, Shoemaker's with the Chicago White Sox. Probably his last ditch at trying to establish a role in the major leagues, I believe. Yeah, no, I don't think the Brewers are gonna do that. And I'm pretty happy with Sean Murphy. I know he fell off in the second half, but his catching didn't fall off, and now he'll have a second year of and being more comfortable and knowing everything that's going on and all that stuff. Sean Murphy, I believe, is going to have a really good year. Not that he didn't last year, but just a really kind of complete year. But yeah, I love Willie C. He was actually a pretty big supporter of Braves Anatomy. So yeah, we do need somebody when Travis retires. But I'm sure we'll figure that out. Yeah, and I don't get it because he doesn't pitch more than 5 1/3. Yeah, we do need another catcher, definitely. I just don't. I can't. I'm not Nostradamus, and I can't look that far in the future. But if the Brewers were suddenly wanting to do that again when we need one, I wouldn't be sad about it. He walks a lot of people and doesn't really pitch even 6 innings, which is like the bare minimum. So, yeah. That's why I'm worried about him, the ability to take a shorter deal with the team that could bite the Braves. Oh, there's some stuff away. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, Snell's gonna get paid by somebody, and if it's a shorter deal and somehow he ends up with us, I'll take it. But no, Bogarts is not available. He's with the Padres, and he signed through, I can't remember his number, 300 mil or so. So, and it looks like Willie Adames, excuse me, Willie Adames will be staying a Brewer for a bit of time. Thank you. Whoa. William Contreras is Wild Bill. And Mom got a little carried away with the dinner dance, but as per usual, the conversation picks up like an hour in, so she brought my dinner. It's ribs. It's ribs, mashed potatoes, and green beans. Just yeah. I have certain nicknames for people too. So if yeah. So I have certain names for people too, like nicknames and things of that nature. So it is. That's my mom's a really good cook, but her ribs are are damn good. That's for sure. So, but yeah, I had my nickname for Von Grisham was VG, so we don't have to worry about that one. But I have several. So, but how we got an hour and 13-ish minutes with -1-0 Braves news is awesome and really, really exciting. I've got some exciting stuff coming down. Coming down soon. Can't give anything away, but really, really excited. And obviously, spring training is right around the corner on Valentine's Day. That's why you can be romantic about baseball with that. I guess that's why they did that on purpose. Or I don't know. They probably didn't. It's just how they felt. But I'm gonna say they did that on purpose. But it's really why I know this is random, but I'm gonna go one more random thing. Why do we have to continually see the Los Angeles Lakers every time they play a game? Like they're not that good. I realize LeBron James is not human, but there's a lot more competitive basketball to be watched. That's all I'm saying. But that's my non-baseball soapbox for the night. But I think that's all I got. If you guys have anything, drop it real quick. Yeah. Yeah, mom's amazing. Yep. And losing people is hard for sure. But I don't think you guys want to see me try to eat ribs on a live. Nacho Alvarez. Yeah, maybe he's the next Marcelo Zuna. But maybe. Maybe. I'm definitely gonna enjoy this season as much as I can. Oh, you were talking about the Alvarez we just. Um, you were talking about the new international guy. I was talking about the. Yeah, he plays shortstop. I was talking about the other one. There's another Alvarez. His name's Nacho, I think. I think he might be the new DH, and I don't know when the I don't know. To Rendon. Rendon. I don't know. He plays baseball because he's good at it. He plays baseball because he's really good at it and not because he cares. No, I don't think Ignace does he. I don't know if he. I don't know. I'm not that well versed in that, so I'm gonna plead the fifth. I just know Alvarez is probably the next big hitting prospect, and maybe Isaiah Drake. But Anthony Rendon, I don't know, a rude awakening for sure. But if he does play shortstop, awesome. That would be fine with me. And Ron Washington's going to be amazing, and I think the Angels are going to buy him quickly. Yeah, what was it? Yeah. Yeah. My mom is amazing, and it stinks too. It stinks to lose people, but well, good. Ron Washington is a no BS guy, so good on him. Yeah, I guess we're close enough. This pack of people that are always in my lives that watching me eat isn't unprofessional or anything. And if when I do live watches, that's probably gonna have to happen too. So, but I don't mind it as long as you guys don't mind it. Um, what am I? Ribs, mashed potatoes, and green beans. Probably -1 on Rendon's trade value. That contract is disgusting. Yeah. He'd probably be more valuable if he'd just retire right now for the Angels. Although I don't know, the Dodgers may pick him up or something. The just because, and I'm not trying to pick on the Dodgers, but they do got to realize that there's only nine positions, and I don't know. I think they might run into a Padres problem of egos and chemistry issues at least early on, and that's just an opinion. Yeah, but I don't think they're that lucky. And I've heard from people well connected that Anthony Rendon uh what about Mike Trout? He's still an amazing player. I don't know if the injuries have zapped a lot of it, but Mike Trout's still Mike Trout, and he's still one of the scariest hitters. Well, probably not at his peak of scary, but Mike Trout at the plate in a big situation, I'd still want him there. Oh. I've heard so many people say that Anthony Rendon is so annoying as a person and things of that nature, terrible clubhouse kind of thing. Just I don't know. That's not what you would expect from that type of guy, but I've heard that said in many different circles. So pretty much if Ron Washington can get Anthony Rendon something excited about baseball again, I'll be surprised. And that's probably it'll be his best it'll be his best and probably hardest job, at least to start anyway. He's got a lot to figure out, but Ron Washington is a guy that can do it. Yep. Agreed for Anthony Rendon. Like pitcher Zach Wheeler, honestly. But if you're talking history, that's a different story. But modernly, definitely will Zach Wheeler. Hitter. In modern era pitcher, if it was like an old schooler one, probably like Randy Johnson. But like now, present day, Zach Wheeler for sure. Just like, I know recency bias, but good Lord, we can't be he would be so amazing on the Braves. I guess is. And then hitter. Hitter. Griffey Jr., no injuries, is one. I'm like drawing a blank on hitters for some reason. Griffey definitely with no injuries. Griffey, but I'm like drawing a blank on hitters. Yeah, his personality rubs me the wrong way, but so does a good one. A modern, Ichiro, not modern, but definitely just Tony Gwynn. But modern hitters, no, I don't. No. I think anyone would go after him, but it would take your entire farm system. Mike Trout healthy, obviously that's. And people are probably gonna get mad at me for not saying Shohei, but like he costs so much that people really can't go to the games. It's weird. So that's why I didn't really say him. But Hudson's right. Soto fits a lot, but his antics kind of rub me the wrong way. But I guess that's the Jock Peterson syndrome-ish thing. Yeah, plus, yeah, he's way too easy of an answer. For sure. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Barry Bonds. That's Barry Bonds. Definitely see that for sure. But if you add all his baggage, I don't know if I mean, yeah, the homers and all that stuff, but I think you talk more about the actual than you talk more about the controversy than what he did on the field, so that's why. Frank Thomas, good one. Very good one. Jim Tomey, very good. You got me thinking now. Todd Helton definitely would take. I mean, I think you could make a case for so many people. You got the juices flowing, though, that's for sure. Bryce Wilson is with the Brewers. So, it's the last week of January, so we're really, really, really close to February. And baseball all the time. And you're going to see a lot. Yeah. Yeah, Nolan Ryan, Garrett Cole, all those guys. I mean, there's just so many good options, and I think that's the greatness of baseball. There's so many possibilities, and that's, like I said, the greatness of baseball and the appreciation of what baseball means to everybody. And once February hits, I'm going to be twirling a lot of plates with all my coverage. So, and you're going to probably see my lovely mug a lot with the recaps, the news, especially spring training. I try to do spring training recaps as well. So we're kind of gearing up for all of that. The last week of February is last week of January is kind of when everything ramps up, so we might get more signings and things of that nature, but really, really excited. Thanks for that. Mark McGuire. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Nolan Ryan's a bucket list guy for sure. I think every era is blessed. Mariano Rivera. Every era is blessed with things that can never be matched. And I think we're lucky to have one in Ronald Acuna Jr. So, and the fact that we get to see him play every single day and do what he does is magical. So, baseball is in a great, amazing spot, and it just keeps getting better. So, No matter what Anthony Rendon, Max Scherzer, any of those guys say, baseball's in a good spot. Yep. I think that's pretty much all I have tonight, I think. Oh yeah, the TV situation. Don't necessarily get me started on that because I don't get it entirely, but I just hope I still get Braves games no matter what. But we'll cross that bridge, and I hope they fix it where everybody can get whatever game they want. No. Oh, Matt Carpenter went back to the St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah, the TV thing's a mess. It's politics. It's for sure politic filled and all of that stuff. Yeah, Matt Carpenter went back to the Cardinals on a 1-year deal, and we're paying most of that. So yeah, you don't have to deal with it too much. That is nice. A non-related Kentucky basketball is about to lose to South Carolina. 3:53 left in the second half. 68-53. Yep. So that's what I'm banking on. And I have to have the Braves games for what I do, and if I didn't have the Braves games, I'd probably break out in hives. Yeah. 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 If I didn't have the Braves games, yeah, I would. LOL. But yeah. Kim Mulkey and her. Good. Well, I'm glad. I know they are profitable, but weird things happen. But don't get me started on finance. Finance was not my forte and will never be my forte. Had to take it twice in college. But yeah, LSU playing the women, South Carolina on. What was that? Tuesday, you said. So, or Thursday, sorry. And Kim Mulkey's outfits give me a headache. uh, yeah, that's amazing to hear, Matt. Well, that I know, but that one was a competitive game though, with Tennessee and Georgia. So yeah, I think the Braves are safe. But literally, I don't think anyone's safe in college basketball this year. Just a lot of wackiness have happened. You don't want to be in the top 10. Um, just a lot of parity in basketball and the transfer portal. Uh, well, I don't know about that. I mean, you gotta do. Georgia football has won 2 championships recently. Braves won a championship recently. There's still a little bit of the remnants of the Georgia curse, I guess, if you call it, but there's a lot more positive than there had been. Let's see. Any other fun scores? Texas is all of a sudden on a heater. West Virginia beat Kansas. No, I don't live in Georgia. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. No, I don't. I mean, yeah. And I'm not saying you guys haven't had it rough. You have, for sure. But I think it's turning around more in the positive direction than it has in the past. Um, this is the longest live I think I've done. So this should really help the watch hours. Thanks, guys. Um, I'll be back next Tuesday. Hopefully, a lot more stuff. We do not yet, but um, it looks like the Tampa offensive coordinator, which I'm fine with. He worked with our new GM in Seattle, so a nice young offensive mind should help, but the roster needs a lot of work um, to be back to relevancy. Bryce Young certainly wasn't the main issue. There was way too much other than that. But no, we have not yet. Now, Terry Rozier is now with the Miami Heat. I eat taco poppers. It's something that my mom makes. So in that way I do. No, I don't want Belichick. I'm good. No Scary Terry. He is now with the Miami Heat. It frees up a lot of cap space for us next year, and an protected 2027. But I think it becomes fully unprotected in 2028, which means if the Heat don't make the playoffs or something, it becomes and if they make the lottery or something, it becomes an unprotected lottery pick. So it could be beneficial down the line, but mainly this roster needed a big time shakeup, and I think this is the start of it. And I hope it's many more, because we have a new ownership, practice facility coming in, and renovations to Spectrum Center. So I absolutely love Terry Rozier and what he brought. To the team, and it's got a special place in my heart because his sister has cerebral palsy too, and just really cool how their relationship and how things interact. So I really hope Scary Terry goes to Miami, kills it, and hopefully gets a big time chance to get a ring. Taco poppers are basically tacos, but they're in the Tostitos chips. So you like make nachos or tacos and put the filling in those, and they're just easier to eat. My hands are very cerebral CP hands, like I like to say. So they're just really that way. But yeah, taco poppers are one of my favorites. Yeah, I don't think Belichick. I mean, Belichick would help us, but I think Belichick is only going to last like 3 years, and then you're back in the process pretty much, because he's just trying to break Shula's record and go out on a winning note. All right, I'll have my mom make them for a live watch or something. So y'all can see them. But yeah, I think Belichick's gonna be good, but I think we need too much help and revitalizing than he wants to do. So yeah, the order will be put in for sure. But yeah, so I mean, and I think Atlanta, you have a better core and a better direction than the Panthers do. So if you do get Belichick, it's a little scary, but it wouldn't be as scary as probably any of the other candidates. So we'll see how it plays out. Oh, is it official? Nice. Watching Kentucky lose is always fun. That Kentucky and Duke, yeah. Watching Kentucky and Duke lose are kind of two of my favorite. Well, Kentucky, Duke, Phillies, Mets, you know. All right, guys. Next week is officially February, and I will for sure let her know. So next week is February, and I have not set a see you, Julie, and I will let her know. And I've not set a subscriber goal for the month of February, but I was thinking maybe get to 1,320. I'm at 1,304. So hoping that's my goal there. I kind of set new goals every month for that. I'm closing in on 150,000 views, so it should be soon. The 5-year anniversary of Braves Anatomy is in April, so a lot of things coming down. And like I said, you're going to be seeing my face a lot with a lot of videos when everything starts ramping up. And my other channel as well, Sweet Carolina CassMac Sportscast. So if you guys want the updates of the Charlotte Hornets, Hurricanes, and Carolina Panthers, hit the subscribe button over there. But I will see you guys next Tuesday. And hopefully we have a lot more to talk about. And even though we still almost went 2 hours tonight, so apparently we're picking up steam. So as always, go Braves, champions forever. See y'all next week.